It was 1 a.m. when I finished my shift. I worked in a restaurant as a waiter over the summer vacation just to make some money. After wishing my colleagues good night, I left the restaurant, started the car and hit the road, heading home. I lived in a small apartment and had a roommate named Dave. He had gone out to party. I was so tired. The evening was very long and eventful. There were a lot of customers, all wealthy and cheeky. My feet hurt from walking and standing during the shift. I'll need a good night's sleep and a massage. Too bad I didn't have a girlfriend to massage me. On the sidewalk, I saw a woman stretching out her hand. Was she talking to me or a cab? I looked in the rearview mirror but there was no cab behind me. So I stopped on the sidewalk next to her. She walked over to the window. Wow! What a beauty! She was a blonde with a generous bosom and a sublime face. Good evening, hope I don't bother you? She asked with a sweet voice. I cleared my throat then told her no. Do you want me to drop you, pretty young lady? Oh yes, that would be great. I would like to go to 254th Street, which is 5 kilometers from here. I don't know where exactly. Do not worry, I will guide you. Her voice was sweet and very exciting. I need to have her number. I will ask her for it when I get to my destination. I invited her to get into the car. She had worn a super short bodycon dress that showed off her generous curves. Okay. I was starting to feel something harden between my legs. I have to control myself. I'm sorry again, she said. I actually ran out of money to pay for a cab. Don't worry. I am happy to help you. Thank you very much. During the trip we discussed everything and nothing. Her name was Alice and was new to this town. Apparently a friend had invited her to a birthday party and she was glad to have made new friends. I've been here for 3 months and I'm really starting to like it. This town is so cool, she said. Yes, I agree with you, I replied with a smile. My day was super gloomy but thanks to her I felt much better. Her smile was beautiful and infectious and her eyes spellbinding. I was so into our conversation that I hadn't even seen the message Dave sent me. I picked up my phone and opened the message. Hi man, I actually can't find my keys anymore so I can't get into the apartment. I have to wait for you to come home. I hope you're on your way because I really want to go to the bathroom. I replied. Sorry man, you're going to have to be patient again. I'm taking my hot new friend back to one of her friends. I continued to discuss with Alice then he answered me. Since when have you been a driver? And where do you know her from? I replied. We've only just known each other and her name is Alice. Nice name, isn't it? So tell me a little about yourself, Edward, she asked me. Oh, you know. My life isn't that interesting. I'm just a law student doing odd jobs. I still find it interesting. Dave replied to my message. Wait. Did she hitchhike you? Does it still exist today? And then you accept when it's dark? I answered in my turn. Oh, I'm good. Stop being so suspicious. She had no more money to pay for a cab, so I was kind enough to drop her off. And then you'll see I'll get her number. Alice told me a bit about what she does for a living. She was a biology student and would dream of being a researcher. Okay, she didn't sound like a biology student, but if that's true then she has a lot of ambition. And I like it in a girl. Dave responded to my message. If you say so, and where do you plan to drop her off, Mr. Driver? You have to turn right, said Alice. I did so. She was a little restless and looked at her watch all the time. I guess she was in a hurry. I replied to Dave. 254th Street, she said. I don't know where it is, but she will be able to guide me. I continued to follow Alice's instructions. Dave texted me again. I picked up my phone and looked at it. What he answered me was quite alarming. Dude, I've never heard of this place and I don't think the so-called 254th Street exists. I don't know but I have a bad feeling. You better take her down right now and go home. I was puzzled. But why was he saying that? She didn't look dangerous though. I wanted to ask Alice if she hadn't got the wrong address, but as she showed me the way, she knew what she was doing. She looked a little tense and she was holding her purse tightly. She no longer spoke and looked at the landscape. Well, I mustn't start to doubt. I will restart the discussion. Dave doesn't worry about anything. So, is this the first time that you come to your friend's house? I asked him. Yes, this is the first time, she said smiling. Cool. I refocused on the road. I wanted to tell Dave not to worry, but suddenly I realized something was wrong. If this is the first time she's been to her friend's house, then how did she know the way? All right. I think I better take Dave's advice because I was starting to have a bad feeling too. I was trying to come up with a bogus excuse while remaining calm. I pretended to look at my phone and told her afterwards. Listen. I'm sorry, but my roommate just got beaten up by strangers and he lost double the keys to our apartment. He's in a bad state and I absolutely have to come home to help him. He can't wait a little longer? We are almost there? I handed him some money. You can take the taxi with it. She looked at the money, then gave me a firm face. Thank you, but I want you to drop me off. I told you I couldn't. I pulled to the sidewalk so she could get off. But before I parked, I felt something hard in my kidneys. Suddenly my blood froze. It was a gun. She had pointed a gun at me. I looked at her, my face broken down, then she gave me a terrifying smile. Drive me to my friend's house where I'll blow your kidneys out. One sound to alert someone and I blast your kidneys too. I was shaking like a leaf. What are you waiting for to drive? She cried. She thrust her gun deeper into my skin. I continued the journey, my hands clammy, my heart pounding in my chest. What should I do? What should I do? I am trying to find a solution. Beyond 5 kilometers there was a forest and we were heading towards it. So Dave was right. This place did not exist. Am I dumb? I should have been wary from the start. Where is she going to take me? Is she really going to a friend's house? Regardless, I'll have to get myself out of this mess. As we were still heading towards the forest, suddenly an idea occurred to me. I had to create an accident to get myself out of this shit. I started to speed up. Why are you accelerating all of a sudden? It's to go faster. I accelerated more, even faster. Before she even reacted, I was suddenly turning left. She screamed, then banged against the glass of the door. My car slammed into a tree and it crashed into it savagely. The shaking was severe, but luckily my protective system tripped and I was not injured. Alice's face was covered in blood, however, and she was unconscious. I checked his pulse. She was still alive. I hurried out of the car and sprinted as far as I could. My feet hurt, but there was no way I could stop, especially since there was no one around. I was running over and over and suddenly I saw a police station. Relieved, I walked over to it. I thudded open the door, startling the police and those in attendance. I explained to them what happened and asked me where my car was. Then we went there. Unfortunately, Alice was no longer in the car, but they found her in the forest. She still had her gun and tried to escape by shooting her gun into the void, but was unsuccessful. They handcuffed her and took her to the police while I was taken home. When I got home, I explained what happened to Dave. The latter was shocked and kept lecturing me. I knew something was wrong and luckily I warned you, he said. Later, I learned that Alice was never a biology student and that in fact she was a prostitute and a member of a gang who trafficked in organs. In fact, the day I was supposed to drop her off at a friend's house, she actually had to go to an abandoned house in the forest for her gang members to catch me, kill me and sell my organs. They were actively wanted by the police for their murders and thanks to me they were able to catch Alice and a few of them. This revelation had terrified me. I never imagined I was dealing with murderers. And if I hadn't created this accident, today I won't be here telling you this story. The other gang members are still wanted by the police and Alice is now languishing in prison. This story traumatized me so much that I had to leave town. And since that day, I have not agreed to give evidence to anyone that I do not know. Above all, I understood that you should never underestimate your intuition.